on page 174. It's a lot of mitzvahs today. Okay, the 16th prohibition is that we are forbidden from leading someone astray by encouraging even one Jew to serve idolatry. A person who does lead someone astray is called a masis. The 17th prohibition, and the source for that, it says, if your maternal brother tries to lead you astray, secretly saying, "Let us go serve false gods," you shall put him to death, and there shall no longer do such evil thing in your midst. Okay. All right, the 17th prohibition: we're forbidden from loving the masis, this misleader guy, or agreeing with him. The source says, "Do not love him." It's an exception to loving your fellow like yourself. This guy is excluded from that because he's doing such a horrible thing. The 18th prohibition is that we are forbidden from easing our hatred of the masis. One is absolutely required to maintain this hatred. If not, and if one does not do so, he transgresses the prohibition. The source is, it says you should not listen to him.
Whoa.
Meaning, this is, again, generally you can hate another Jew. But here it says, especially you can't. You have to hate him. You have to despise him because of this heinous sin. The 19th prohibition is that one whom the masis tries to incite is forbidden from saving the masis if he sees his life is in danger. The 19th prohibition is that one whom the masis try to incite is forbidden. One whom the masis tries to incite is forbidden from saving him if he sees life is in danger. It says in the book, in the Devarim, do not let your eyes pity him. 20th prohibition is one whom the masis tries to incite is forbidden from trying to acquit him. No Stockholm syndrome here, Even if he knows of an argument in his favor, he's forbidden to mention it to him or to raise it himself. The source is, do not show any mercy. 21st prohibition is that one whom the masis tries to incite is forbidden from withholding anything he knows which would cause the masis to be punished. You can't hold back any incriminating evidence. The source of that is, do not cover up for him. 26th prohibition is that a person is forbidden to prophesy in the name of an idol, meaning to say that God commanded to serve it or that the idol itself commanded to serve it, and promise reward and punishment, as is done by the prophets of Baal and Asherah. No explicit verse, but whatever. If he speaks in the name of other gods, then that prophet shall die. Okay, 28th prohibition is that we are forbidden from listening to the prophecy of one who prophesies in the name of an idol, meaning we should not dispute him, nor ask him, what is your miracle, what is your proof for this, as we do with someone who prophesies in the name of God. Rather, as soon as we hear him prophesize in the name of an idol, we must warn him, and just as we must warn any transgressor. If he persists in his claim, he's punished him in the way the Torah prescribes, and pay no attention to his miracles or proofs. The source says, do not listen to the words of the prophet. Devarim 13:4. The 27th prohibitions were forbidden from prophesying falsely, either by prophesying in God's name, even though God has not yet spoken, or by prophesying words which God has spoken. The 27th prohibitions were forbidden from prophesying falsely, either by prophesying in God's name, even though God has not spoken, or by prophesying words which God, exalted be He, has spoken to someone other than Himself, and He attributes it to Himself, saying that God has spoken to Him when in reality He has not. 27th prohibitions were forbidden from prophesying falsely. Either by prophesying in God's name, even though God has not yet spoken. Prophesying words which God has spoken to someone other than Himself. Pretending God spoke to you, or saying you heard another prophet going to say something, you've been say you heard it from God when you didn't. The source of that is Devarim 18:20. If a prophet intentionally makes a declaration by name, I have not commanded him to speak. 29th prohibition is that we're forbidden from giving honorable treatment to a false prophet, or from refraining from executing him, since he has prophesied in the name of God. Once we've determined his falseness, we should not fear punishment whatsoever. Since he said, right, okay, we are forbidden from giving honorable treatment to a false prophet, or from refraining from executing him. Once we've determined his falseness, we should not fear punishment whatsoever. The source of this commandment is God's statement, "Salted be he, do not fear him." The 14 prohibitions were forbidden from swearing in the name of an idol, even when dealing with idol worshippers. So too, we may not cause them to swear in the name of an idol. As our sage explained their statement, one may not cause a non-Jew to swear in the name of that idol. It says, and do not mention the name of other gods. The 8th provisions were forbidden from performing the practice of Ov. This consists of burning a specific type of incense and performing certain actions. The person who does this then imagines that he hears a voice speaking from under his armpit, answering his questions. This is a weird form of idolatry. 9th prohibitions were forbidden from performing the practice of Yidoni. It's also a form of idolatry, which a person takes a bone from the bird called Yadua, puts in his mouth, burns incense, utters certain words, hocus pocus, and performs certain actions until he reaches a state similar to unconsciousness when he goes to a deep sleep and predicts the future. Our sage says Yadoni is when the person places a bone from the Yadu in his mouth and speaks by itself. Last mitzvah, page 178, the 7th prohibition, we're forbidden from handing over some of our children to the idol Molech, which was well known at the time when the children was given. They used to have a bonfire. You used to basically, initiate the child by passing him over the fire. I'm not burning him, but just passing him over to and giving him to the priest.